Hello to everyone who is watching this. It's so great to be a part of the Animal Justice Academy community because I know that everyone here, including myself of course, really cares about bettering the lives of our fellow beings here on Earth. My name is Paulina Vargatoth, although I go by Polly, and I work for the Humane Society International Canada. HSI Canada and its affiliate organizations make up one of the largest animal protection organizations in the world. We have offices, staff, and consultants in about 40 countries, and we work in a variety of ways: education, advocacy, direct care, and science, and we work on numerous animal-related issues such as wildlife conservation and trafficking, marine life, animals used in testing and research, animals used for clothing, animals affected by natural disasters, dog fighting, stray dogs, and the area that I work in, farm animal welfare. Now, I was actually lucky enough to be raised eating very few animal products by my passionately activist mother, and so I've been vegetarian, mostly vegan, my entire life. I've definitely carried this energy into my own life and have continued to try to find ways to work on the issues I care about. One of the best opportunities I've had to do this so far has been my work with Humane Society International Canada. I work specifically for the Forward Food program, which is all about advocating for plant-based foods and helping businesses and institutions increase their plant-based offerings. We have worked with dozens of colleges, universities, and other places where many meals are served across the country to provide plant-based culinary trainings, recipes, menu development support, educational sessions, marketing guidance, and more, all free of charge. We're lucky to be funded by generous donors who support our work and our vision of a plant-forward food system. Now, we're all here today for the same reason, because we really care about animals and want to see them well cared for and able to live out their natural lives. But at the same time, we know that our society is set up in a way that leads many animals to be badly mistreated, especially farm animals. In realizing this, people understand how important it is to change the way they eat. So, one of the best things we can do as animal advocates is to make the option that's best for animals, plus our health and our environment, as easy and accessible to the general public as possible. Or, in other words, we have to get as many plant-based options as possible in as many places as possible. Ultimately, the goal today is to learn how we can all push our world to be more animal and veg-friendly. I'm going to be sharing 5 general tips for how you can advocate for more plant-based options everywhere you go, from the grocery store to your workplace, and a few examples of initiatives you can take right now as a concerned citizen. Now, getting started, one of the most effective actions we can take is luckily also one of the easiest. Simply request plant-based foods everywhere you go. Businesses, institutions, even your workplace need to know that there is a demand for vegan food for them to start providing it. And if they hear these requests enough, they'll be motivated to expand their offerings. No one wants to lose an opportunity for business. A few small asks you could start with could be requesting a non-dairy milk at your coffee station at work, requesting a plant-based option at your favorite cafe or lunch spot, or requesting a vegan option at your next meeting or holiday party. Even if you hear no the first time, don't worry, because everyone who asks makes it a bit more likely to come true. At the same time, don't be afraid to be specific. If you're someone who already eats lots of plant-based foods, you probably know more about the available options than your local cashier or even your boss. For example, if you're requesting a non-dairy milk at your coffee station, you could recommend your favorite brand and where to buy it. If you're ready to up your requesting game just a bit, you could try to get a specific plant-based brand or product in your local grocery store. There's actually a few ways you can go about doing this, and they're all relatively easy. The first and most straightforward way is to go online and see if your grocery store has a product request form. Most big grocery retailers have these available on their websites, usually under the Contact Us tab. And all you need to do is include your name, email, store location, and the specific brand and product you'd like to get stocked. If your grocery store doesn't have one of these forms, you can always shoot them an email or contact them through the Contact Us tab. Including a link to the product you're looking for in your email is definitely helpful. Now, even if you've requested your product online, it's always good to add a bit of human connection by calling or asking in person. To make your request most effective, it's best to try to get hold of a higher up involved in sourcing products, such as the buyer or inventory manager. Once you get a hold of them, tell them that you are a regular shopper at their store and that you'd be a repeat buyer of the product you're requesting, as well as the specific brand and product you're looking for once again. You might think that you need an army of other requesters to get a product, but just taking the initiative to go through this process can often be enough. Lastly, if you're not having any luck at all with the grocery store itself, you can go through the specific manufacturer instead. Many manufacturers have emails or forms on their website for this exact purpose. If you tell the manufacturer where you live and what you'd like, they're usually more than happy to contact the grocery store directly themselves. Now moving on, for those of us who are already vegan or vegetarian, we can often end up giving our support to only businesses that are already 100% plant-based. These businesses are great and we definitely should be supporting them. But if our goal is to create a world in which fewer animals are killed for food, we have to get more businesses to serve more veg options so that they're available to the wider public too. So let's support veg-friendly businesses. The Forward Food team does a lot of work with restaurants, and we've heard from several restaurant owners and managers that more veg options will only be added if the existing ones do well. So go to an Omni restaurant and order their veg option, thank them for offering it, and give them feedback on it. Businesses respond to consumer demand, and they have to see the value in adding more veg options. To increase the impact of anything you do, you can find allies who can help you out, either by doing the same or by bringing their own ideas to your initiative. Start by asking your friends, family, colleagues, peers, and anyone else you know to speak up, make requests, and buy veg products. The more people who ask for a plant-based option, for example, the more likely a business is to start offering it. But don't stop there. You might be able to find allies in people who are lactose intolerant, or passionate about the environment and concerned about climate change, or advocating for food security and equal access to healthy foods, or worried about the rise of lifestyle diseases like diabetes and heart disease. Or you might find allies in people who grow, manufacture, sell, and serve plant-based foods. If there is enough support for something, consumers can effectively steer an entire industry in a more positive, compassionate direction. You may even surprise yourself and find allies in places you'd never expect. For instance, there may be support for getting dairy programs out of schools in unexpected places. My dad is a teacher, and he tells me that many educators with the inside view of the program believe it produces a lot of waste and mess. So, with this in mind, he brought concerned teachers together, informed parents, and successfully got the dairy programs ended at the last 3 schools he's worked at. Of course, we're not all teachers and may not have the same leverage, but we might be able to find allies who do. There's a lot of value in simply asking others, hey, what do you think of this? One of the greatest challenges in promoting plant-based options is that people haven't tried them yet. That's why one of the most powerful ways to open people up to the idea of eating more plant-based foods is to simply share it with them. There was a study in 2018 which looked at whether or not meat-eating consumers find current plant-based options to be generally acceptable. One of the key findings of that study was that providing samples is a key way to get consumers to be more interested in plant-based products. And we at Forward Food see this in our work all the time. We work with food service professionals to help them add more plant-based options to their menu. And a big part of that is actually getting them to prepare and taste plant-based recipes themselves. Anyone who isn't already vegetarian, vegan, or flexitarian is usually really impressed by how delicious the food is. And when they realize this, they start to get excited about eating more plants. So whenever you get the chance, share your favorite foods with the people around you and let that food speak for itself. Everyone has different causes that motivate them into action. And luckily, eating plant-based ticks so many boxes, so we can really use this to our advantage. We're currently seeing a huge spike in interest in plant-based foods. Along with animal welfare, health and the environment are major driving factors in people choosing to eat this way. We should, of course, continue to talk about how factory farming hurts animals, since not enough people really understand how inhumane the system is. But keep in mind that talking about the many other benefits will resonate with people too. Being knowledgeable about the many benefits of plant-based eating will mean that you can be more persuasive when speaking to different people. In fact, this is a great way to get more plant-based offerings in your workplace. Many companies and institutions nowadays have sustainability targets or health and wellness programs that a plant-based proposal can tie in super well with. All you have to do is think of a great idea, such as suggesting a plant-based caterer for your next meeting, or doing a work-wide Veggie Mondays challenge, and connect the dots for your employer. If this is something you'd be interested in doing, I highly recommend checking out the Vegan Leaders Playbook. It's a virtual resource I found recently that was created by vegan leaders in corporate management. The playbook gives really detailed and helpful advice on how to start a plant-based initiative at your workplace. And you can find it at veganleaders.com. Now, I want to leave you with one last example of an initiative which I think really encapsulates all the tips I've just brought up. Our Ford Food team co-hosted a plant-based lunch and learn at an organization, and it was a huge success. It was organized by just one member of the other host organization, Judy, who invited 2 guests to her workplace for the event. She had our campaign manager, Rihanna, and a representative from the plant-based cheese brand, Daya, participate. Rihanna gave a talk on the various benefits of plant-based eating. Meanwhile, the representative from Daya prepared a plant-based cheese pizza and ice cream samples for everyone to try. This was an excellent initiative because while many people came for the free food, they left feeling inspired to eat more ethically and plant-based. In fact, about 40% of the organization ended up attending, and Judy noted that the whole workplace was more open to getting more plant-based catering in the future afterwards. Now, what made this event such a success? Judy promoted the sustainability aspects of her event to make it more accessible to her employer and coworkers. She then partnered with both Rihanna, who brought her expertise to the event, and Daya, who provided all the food and flew out their representative for free just in exchange for the exposure. Lastly, she shared free, delicious food, which piqued people's interest who wouldn't have tried plant-based foods otherwise. Now, not everyone can organize an event of this size, or get a major food company to send a representative in to participate. That is usually only possible for big companies with a lot of employees. No matter the size of your office though, you can put something like this into action. A smaller lunch and learn can be equally successful with some interesting facts or trivia about the benefits of plant-based eating, a few samples of your favorite plant-based product, and some practical tips or guidance on how to transition to eating more plants. Now, thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I hope you feel empowered and ready to help get more plant-based options on shelves and menus across Canada. If you'd like to follow HSI Canada on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also find us on the web at hsi.org, and you can contact our program coordinator, Lucy Cullen, at lcullen@hsi.org if you have any questions or comments about this presentation. On behalf of HSI Canada, thank you for helping animals.